Is Messi corrupt? I don't know. But FIFA defines itself as a non-profit organization, and if we look at it more superficially, the International Federation of Association Football is not a company. It doesn't really produce anything, not even jerseys. But in 2015, the FBI arrested 14 of its executives for money laundering, fraud, bribery, totaling more than $150 million. And today, during the FIFA World Grand Soccer Tournament 2026, I'm not going to say the trademark name, for safety reasons. But anyway, despite all this excitement of watching our favorite national teams give everything they have on the field, the truth is, we cannot ignore how FIFA and some of its more questionable practices seem determined to ruin one of the most beautiful and exciting sports in the world: soccer, football. First, let's get the context right. What is FIFA? The International Federation of Association Football was founded on May 21st, 1904 in Paris. The goal was to unify soccer rules in order to organize international competitions, since the sport was becoming increasingly popular, of course. The first member countries were France, Belgium, Denmark, the Netherlands, Sweden, Switzerland, and Spain. And today, it has more than 211 affiliated national associations. There are more countries associated with FIFA than with the United Nations. Just wrap your mind around that. The first World Cup was held in Uruguay in 1930. In this first edition, 13 national teams participated: Argentina, Chile, France, Mexico, Yugoslavia, Brazil, Bolivia, Uruguay, Peru, Romania, the United States, Paraguay, and Belgium. Uruguay won the cup for the first time, defeating Argentina 4-2. And that is where the history of the World Cup begins. Throughout this grand soccer tournament, we have experienced legendary moments such as the Maracanazo in Brazil 1950, when Uruguay defeated Brazil 2-1 in the final. Obviously, the Azteca Stadium, today called Estadio Bananorte or El Estadio Azteca, became one of the most legendary locations during the Mexican 1970 games, with, of course, the game of the century. And they named it that way because those who watched it said it was one of the most exciting matches they had ever played, ever. Right? And it was a semifinal between Italy and West Germany where everything happened. This player named Franz Beckenbauer, he played extra time with a dislocated arm because there was no substitutions available. It was the first time in the history of the World Cup with 5 goals scored in extra time. Savage. And when the game ended, Italy won, advancing to the final where it eventually lost to Brazil. Also, at the Azteca Stadium during the 1986 World Cup, we witnessed magical matches, my friends, okay? Such as Argentina versus England, which gave soccer history one of the greatest goals of the century. And of course, Diego Armando Maradona's hand of God goal, right? Argentina won that match, and Maradona, he became a legend, even though some people were really, really mad about that, right? Another unforgettable moment happened during the 2006 Germany World Cup, where Zidane's headbutt against Marco Materazzi earned him a red card, and a legendary moment. Italy eventually lifted that trophy. These unexpected moments are what makes soccer so exciting and why we never want to miss a single match, hoping we get to witness a historic moment we could talk about for years to come. Although more and more it seems like FIFA is working against the sport, almost trying to ruin it. In May 2015, the United States Department of Justice and the FBI uncovered a massive corruption network within FIFA, the continental confederations, and companies connected to soccer around the world. Crazy. They discovered how bribes were paid to obtain broadcasting rights, marketing deals, and sponsorships for international competitions, as well as payments made to influence the selection of tournament host countries, including the most recent World Cups at the time: Russia 2018 and Qatar 2022. Though two host countries, Russia and Qatar, immediately raised concerns. Russia drew attention because of its questionable human rights practices and the situation involving political prisoners. Qatar, being located in the middle of the desert and having extreme weather conditions, did not seem suitable for hosting a sporting competition of that level without putting players at risk. At the same time, accusations of exploitation and slavery emerged against migrant workers who helped build the stadiums for the tournament. These host countries became examples used to highlight the corruption surrounding who was chosen to host these famous World Cup soccer tournaments. The investigation also uncovered bribes connected to South Africa being selected as the host of the 2010 World Cup. But the investigation did not only reveal that hosting rights had been bought, FIFA received all kinds of bribes totaling $150 million. The FIFA GATE scandal sent several executives to prison, including Jeffrey Webb, former president of CONCACAF, Jack Warner, former FIFA vice president, and Jose Maria Marin, former president of the Brazilian Football Confederation. It also led to the immediate resignation of Joseph Blatter, who was president of FIFA at the time. Years after the FIFA bribery scandal became public, Sepp Blatter stated that choosing Qatar as a World Cup host was a major mistake. Today, Blatter is suspended and permanently banned from participating in soccer-related activities due to ethical violations. In Mexico, for example, the FIFA GATE investigation led to the resignation of Emilio Azcárraga as executive of chairman of Group Televisa SAB. This due to suspicions that he could have also been connected to the FIFA corruption. Televisa became involved in the bribery and corruption scandal surrounding World Cup broadcasting rights for the 2018, 2022, 2026, and 2030 tournaments. And one thing is certain, in Mexico, all World Cup matches are exclusive to Tudun and VIX. So how is everything now? One theory surrounding the Mexico, United States, Canada 2026 big World Cup soccer tournament, the United States was selected as one of the hosts in order to calm the FBI and corruption investigations. That's what they say, allegedly. The truth is that soccer's presence in the United States has grown exponentially in recent years, and proof of that can be seen through the tournaments like Leagues Cup, which features clubs from all three countries. But this big World Soccer Tournament edition feels different from previous ones. Even though fans live and breathe soccer, football, it feels as if FIFA wants to squeeze every possible dollar out of them. Let's start with the broadcasting rights, okay? FIFA is willing to fine any establishment that shows the matches if they have not obtained broadcasting rights through FIFA themselves. It doesn't matter if you already have a cable television subscription, FIFA wants to charge you. FIFA also focuses on fighting piracy in the most aggressive way possible. It actually asked host countries to carry out operations to eliminate the sale of unlicensed products. At least in Latin America, merchants, we found a way to continue to sell our jerseys, even if they're not the most original. Anyways, back to the subject, all right? Hydration breaks, ticket prices, and fan restrictions. One change FIFA has introduced for this edition of the big soccer tournament is hydration breaks. In previous editions and regular soccer tournaments, this did not happen. However, the format they have introduced looks very similar to the structure of American football quarters. By having 4 breaks during matches, more advertisements can be introduced into these broadcasts. FIFA said that these breaks were created to protect players from the heat, to allow them to stay hydrated, right? But it seems suspicious considering that the last big soccer tournament was held in Qatar, where temperatures can reach 120 degrees, and no rule like this was introduced. What? Another thing that greatly upset fans is that it seems like FIFA made an effort to prevent ordinary people from attending matches in stadiums. With prices that are out of this world and dynamic pricing systems, good luck. Tickets began being sold through pre-sale last year. Prices range from 34,000 to 78,000 Mexican pesos just for stadiums in Mexico. However, FIFA implemented a dynamic pricing system similar to Uber on a rainy day or a late night. And depending on demand and where you're located, where you're purchasing your tickets, prices could exceed 100,000 pesos. The high prices and immigration tensions in the United States caused massive cancellations of hotel reservations and other services in cities where matches were scheduled to be. Access to FanFests, which traditionally have always been free, was also restricted to control everything. Since Donald Trump returned to the White House, Gianni Infantino has visited him frequently. They're besties. It appears his role is to keep the US president happy. when the Swedish Academy decided not to award President Trump the Nobel Peace Prize, Infantino and FIFA created one specifically for him, the FIFA Peace Prize, recognizing his efforts to negotiate peace in the Gaza Strip. That actually happened. And this coming from the party that hated participation trophies. Anyways, the European Union has already requested a review of this award because it appears highly irregular. With FIFA's president having so much access to Donald Trump, it became easy for him to ask Trump to review and remove the red card suspension given to a player before the match against Belgium. Crazy. FIFA reviewed the decision and removed the suspension, but that did not prevent the United States from being eliminated in the following match. Karma. Lionel Messi is one of the biggest stars in the world of soccer football, and this may be his last big world soccer tournament. Argentina made it all the way to the finals, and rumors were already circulating that FIFA was making it easier for the Argentinian national team to win. First, Argentina was criticized because during the group stage, they did not face any teams ranked in the world's top 10. These suspicions only increased after Egypt's national team complained that their match had been manipulated from the beginning to favor Argentina. At the same time, people have noticed that Argentina has received better treatment from referees and that even VAR decisions seem to have benefited them during matches. For example, Messi was not given a yellow card or a red card that many believed he deserved. And what is true and what can be verified is that the FBI is already investigating the financial operations of the Argentinian Football Association to determine whether some of its financial activities could potentially become criminal offenses, bro. The World Soccer Tournament is a promise of joy and football soccer excitement, whether you're a host country or not. And this time, we had 3 host nations, all with exciting matches, broken world records, and endless memories. The best thing we can do as fans is enjoy soccer football the way we know best and separate it itself from FIFA and all of its alleged corruption. Because soccer is not FIFA and FIFA is not soccer. It's so much bigger than that, and people love this sport with so much passion that it doesn't matter what FIFA does. They're going to continue to enjoy the sport. Even if they charge us twice as much to watch it at restaurants with our friends or whatever the case may be, soccer will always mean so much to people. And when it comes time every 4 years to root for your national team, it's time to put on that jersey, even if FIFA may or may not be corrupt. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And FIFA, please don't sue me. Everything here was allegedly. Anyways, I'm your boy Chris Ortiz with Crave Cultura. Hasta la próxima.